hello. It's 7:30, so y'all already know what that means. It means it's time for the Culture, okay? Season 2, episode 7. I think in somewhere that means complete, but it wouldn't be complete without our guest we have today.
Aalayah Eastmond.
Aalayah Eastmond. Say hi to, she just, oh, you already know who I am. Fox Steph, all right? Live in the 305 from the town of Opala. Came a long way, that drive.
Yeah,
An hour.
Mm-hmm.
You live in Parkland?
I live in Coral Springs, which is the next city from Parkland.
Oh, okay. Is that where Sawgrass Mall is or not? Or it's not that close?
Yeah, it's a little past.
My bad, y'all. I don't be in Broward like that. 305. But anyway, so I'm happy to have you here. Now, I don't know if they are aware of who you are, but I came across you a couple of times in the media. All right, she is popping, y'all. All right. Now, one time being in Washington with the big dogs, and they brought you on, and I was shocked because it's always just a bunch of old folks. No shade, no ageism, no shade to old folks. I love my elders, I respect my elders. But then you came on, and it's just refreshing to hear from you and you're a student of the school. So and another thing, you were just so articulate, especially for your age. That I just want to know, in school, do they let y'all have y'all phones on y'all, or do they take it away? I just need to know that.
I have one teacher that has pouches for us to put them in. I did that. I put my phone in a pouch last year actually, and my phone crashed when I got it out the pouch. So that's when they kind of stopped it because the school had to pay me for that.
You were part of a change. See?
Yeah.
That's what's up. So now everybody don't have to put it in the pouch.
Yep.
I'm excited about what you have going on now. But let's start over. Let's retract. All right. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, but I moved to Florida a few years ago. Probably about yeah, I've been here for 10 years. So now I'm in Coral Springs, Florida.
Been here for 10 years. You're pretty much a Floridian. I mean,
I don't know.
Oh, don't say that because that means 21 Savage is an American now because he ain't here that old. We're gonna get to that too. So hold on now. You don't want to be a Florida woman? What?
It's just that me and my mom are the only ones here, and all my heart and family is in New York. So that's just where my roots are from. So,
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you visit often?
All the time.
Okay.
And I feel like it's equivalent the amount of times that I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you love your own.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just here for school.
Oh, look how she do us, y'all. Whatever. I don't care about New York.
What part of Brooklyn?
Flatbush.
Ooh.
Where the Jamaicans at?
Hey, are you Jamaican?
No, my parents are Trinidadian.
Hey.
Oh, really? We were just talking about Trinidadians. Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. All right. Trinidadians.
Mm-hmm.
Are all Trinidadians black?
No, my family's black, but I know there's a Chinese side of Trinidad, and
so that's what's going on.
and
Mixing
a Native American Indian type thing. There's a lot of discrimination in Trinidad between.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't really
Just learn something today. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
It seems like there's just discrimination across the board in every group. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Now back to school.
Planning on going to college at Howard in Washington D.C.
Ooh, Howard, HBCU love.
Yeah, I really want to go to HBCU for undergrad. If I don't get into Howard, my second choice is actually FAMU.
Hey.
Yeah, and if not, all my other choices are in New York. So.
Oh my! Listen. Look at this woman. She made good choices.
Right.
She has a head on her shoulders.
Yeah, I just need that culture back in my life.
That culture,
Yeah.
for life. All right.
Been
Now,
in too long.
all right. Speaking of HBCUs, February is Black History Month. And speaking of Black History Month, honey, you came and represented.
Yep.
Y'all turn and show the camera. Matter of fact, let me turn this way a little bit more so you can, yeah. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, like a protest. Hashtag, yes. All right, so I see you represent. Do you represent just this month, the 365?
365.
360.
Because I'm black, 365 days a year.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
I like you. Ooh, this sister. Yeah. All right, I'm too excited. Okay. So, all right. Now, it's Black History Month, but it was also Valentine's Day that had passed. And while many Americans, find that holiday like a loving holiday, a fun time, or just a time to get spoiled for one day, some may have found that day harder than others. So, it's hard to shift gears like that. But we have viewers that may not be aware of what occurred just 1 year ago on Valentine's Day. Such a day. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be a loving day. How do you feel when you talk about that?
There's something called desensitization.
I already know where you're going.
Yeah, I travel across the country and I talk about it all the time, every week. So, sharing my story is not really a problem for me anymore because I'm desensitized now. But of course, like when you're in your room alone, that's when the trauma kicks in, or, the anxiety kicks in, or your triggers, or dealing with PTSD. So there's different things that go along with it, but I've kind of gotten used to talking about it because that's really what I do now.
That's what you do now. That was wild. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, since you have been desensitized, all right, can you take us through that day? Was it like other days, or did that day start off different? Do you have a morning routine or anything
The day was pretty normal. I really wasn't going to go to school because it was Valentine's Day and I really wasn't trying to see all the lovey-dovey stuff. I just wanted to chill, but I knew my mom was going to say no, so I just went anyway. We did have a fire drill earlier that day, but nobody really thought anything of it because it's just a regular fire drill. So the day was kind of normal, but we were, in every class, teachers were telling us about new procedures that they were implementing, and we were supposed to have an active shooter drill coming up. So, it wasn't really something that we thought out of the ordinary, but it was a new thing that they were bringing out.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like they were already preparing for something that could possibly occur, but no one actually think it will occur.
Yeah.
Because
I definitely didn't put it past myself, but a lot of teachers would say that would absolutely never happen here.
What is the town like? Is there things go down?
Parkland was one of the safest cities in Florida. It has very little crime.
That's what I heard.
In one year, they actually had no crimes.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a very affluent neighborhood. Everything is gated. They have like a 15 miles per hour speed limit to keep the park-like feel. It's very quiet, predominantly white,
Right.
with a lot of money. So, that, of course, it equals the campus of Douglas.
Right.
So I never put it past me. I just always
Exposed to certain things.
Yeah, and going to that school, you wouldn't be surprised that it happened there because the students were different. So
Different.
yeah.
Different. How so? Because students who tend to do things like that have a certain kind of makeup.
Yeah, it's a different culture than what we are used to. But, I remember having those conversations with some of my other friends, and we'd always say if that were to happen in any place in Florida, it would probably happen at our school.
Interesting. Wow.
It just seemed like it was possible.
And that's a large campus, correct?
Very, very large.
It's
over 3,000 students.
Okay. Where were you exactly
During the shooting?
Yeah.
I was in the building that it happened in, and I was in the third classroom that he shot into.
Shot into.
Mm-hmm.
And what class was this? Math?
No, it was actually an elective. It was Holocaust history.
Holocaust history. Tragic
Yeah, people-
events.
yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. All right. He walks in. Is he saying anything?
No. Well, it's like he's in the hallway, but you don't, like, I'm in my class, so I don't know what's going on. You know, I've never been, around gunshots that often in my life, so I wasn't really aware, and you don't really think of things like that in class.
Right.
So when we heard the first shots, kind of like paused, and it was like silent, and then we heard it again, and that's when we like immediately moved. So I don't know if he said anything. I couldn't really, you don't hear what people are saying when gunshots are ringing, because of course that sound is so amplified that you don't really hear anything else.
Did y'all get under y'all desk?
No. My class is kind of unique because we kind of like split in half. So half of us went to the corner that's designated for an active shooter, where you're not seen from the window that is in the classroom door. But the other half of us went to the wrong corner, where we were in complete view of the window. But we did that because it was the first thing we saw. And I ended up going to the wrong corner.
Okay. So, did he ever see you?
I don't know if he saw me. I didn't look for him. I was just so concerned with surviving.
Right.
So when he started shooting into my class, that's when it kind of like clicked to me. But at the same time, I was telling myself, there's no way that this is really happening. I saw red on the floor. I was like, this has to be a senior prank. It has to be a paintball gun. Like,
unbelievable.
Yeah. But then I saw one of my
Unreal.
classmates dead, and then that's when it like clicked to me, okay, this is really happening. And then the person in front of me, he fell over, and I just matched his body and laid underneath and waited.
Who found you? Or did you get up after a while when you thought the coast was clear?
When he had moved on to the other classrooms and up the stairs, the person that was on top of me, his body was getting heavy because he did die. So I rolled him off of me. I put his head on his arm because I didn't want him to touch the floor. And then I just sat there in complete shock. And then that's when two of my classmates actually pulled me behind a filing cabinet. They were on the phone with 911. I called my parents. I told them my last goodbyes because I really thought that was going to be the end of it. There was 5 people that were shot in that corner, so I was giving my phone to one of my classmates.
Oh my gosh.
And I called her mom for her. I texted her mom for her, and we just waited until the SWAT team came.
How are you just walking around just so like?
You gotta do what you gotta do. You can't
Black women.
You can't let it control your life. You know, you have to keep going. Of course, that's something that will never leave me, and it's always going to be a part of my life. But I do have to persevere from it and let it uplift me into a bigger and stronger person.
Right. Who's instilled these principles and these things and these morals?
My mom. She's a single mom, very strong. She made sure I was just as strong as her. She always says I'm too strong, but there's no such thing.
Shout out to mom. Did you guys like do some kind of memorial or?
Actually, the whole community came together after the shooting, which not surprising, but it was still a shock because the school was pretty divided. You had your own little group that you would hang out with. So to see everybody come together, no matter where you came from and what you looked like, was amazing. My class in particular actually made a group chat. Not everybody had their phones because, of course, you lose your phone in that situation, some people. So some people had to get new phones, but we made a group chat and we connected there. And we met at the memorials that was at the nearby park, and that's what we did for a few weeks.
That's what's up. Then you returned to school when?
I really don't remember, but I think it was like a week and a half later.
And what was that like, walking back into the building?
Well, we didn't go back. That building is separate. So
that's done.
Yeah, well, it's still there because they need it for trial because the perpetrator is alive and the jury has to walk through. Everything is the exact same, but the bodies are not there anymore. But of course, we can't ever go in there.
He went to the school before, right?
Yes, he was
Do you
expelled.
recall him?
No, not at all. I didn't have any classes with him, but I did hear a lot about him, that he would like bring dead animals to class and stuff.
Now, you're still attending the school because you are a senior.
Yeah.
Do y'all talk about this a lot at school?
Actually, no, we don't. It's kind of like the elephant in the room. It's kind of like pushed in the rug. Yeah, they don't really like to address they would say the incident. They never want to call it like what it really is, the shooting. It's kind of like unspoken. But I talked to it with like one of my other friends that was also in the building, but on a different floor. She's like one of the only people that, you know, doesn't diminish your experience based on others or, you know, judges you. It's kind of like a true friendship, because that conversation is very wishy-washy at Douglas.
Wow. All right. There's some truth right there.
Yeah.
Okay. You already said you thinking about going to a HBCU like how, where the FAMU. But, okay. Now, have you guys had prom?
No, we have it in May.
Have it in May?
Yeah.
You already got your dress?
No, I don't really know if I want to go.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I don't know.
Who says that?
She's from Flatbush.
I don't know. It's kind of, I'll see when it gets here so much. I didn't go to homecoming because I had to go to Washington to testify for something else. So it was like, I have
your priorities have switched.
Yeah.
You're not even on that anymore. That is so funny.
Yeah, I can't. You know, I think of
You're
it.
bigger than that.
I think of it as something like prom would only benefit me for that one day, which is temporary. But if I were to go and speak or do something for a community or help someone, that's not temporary. That would last longer and help more people.
Look at oh man, this young lady here. Okay, the way you talk. I wasn't thinking like that. I'm going to prom. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the pop movies. It's not another teen movie type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to prom. One thing that if you type your name in, what'll come up is when you went to Washington to speak on Kavanaugh?
The Kavanaugh hearing was the Senate, and the HR 8 bill for gun violence prevention hearing, that was the House.
Okay.
Of course, I am black, so it's harder for me to get out there because people would, of course, listen to the white students. And that has been happening at Douglas. A lot of the voices of color have been suppressed due to that. So it is harder for me to get out there and get my voice heard. But when I get these opportunities, I never do it for myself, because I do realize that this is a privilege, and gun violence doesn't only occur in areas like Parkland. It is an everyday occurrence in communities of color. So when I go out and speak, I speak for those communities because I come from that community. And I speak for the LGBTQ plus community and domestic violence and different ways that gun violence impacts people, because I feel like the conversation of school shootings has surrounded the conversation. That is only 2% of gun violence as a whole. And if we're going to talk about gun violence, we have to talk about people that are actually being impacted by it on a daily basis. So that's how I get these opportunities, and that's what I do when I go. I represent others and not myself, and I only represent Parkland because that's what gave me this platform. But I do have to realize that it's not about Parkland. It's about people that are impacted by it on a daily basis.
All right, child. Now, on your stance with gun rights or whatever, do you think, how can I say this?
So I think
are you trying to take their guns?
No, absolutely not.
Trying to take their guns?
No, I'm not trying to take their guns.
Who should have guns, or what should it be to you if it was your way?
Well,
I'll tell
there
you
definitely needs to be regulations and different things. But I mean, I don't really know what I should say for who should have a gun, because at the same time we have police officers that have guns and they don't use them correctly. So if we're going to have that conversation, it'd go a different route. So I'm not really sure who should have guns, but there's too many people out here with guns that don't need them.
Some regulations. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for this convo. Now, what's next?
Right now, college.
Because, there's a lot of hats you have.
Yeah, I'm definitely focused on college right now. But
and just being a college student.
Yeah, I'm really
excited.
And
what comes on campus?
I'm really, really excited. I've already been.
You're going to be on the episode of Grownish?
No, not all that. but I'm really excited for college. But of course, getting there's going to be a lot of different things that come up. So it would be hard to balance school and all that and college. but you gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, and just so you know, folks know, are you single?
Yes.
And but you gotta be of the age now. No I killing. All right. That's what's up. Now, are you gonna stick around with us? Some things I want to talk about.
Of course, yes.
All right, cool.